All right, so today we're going to be diving into some pretty fascinating territory. And this deep dive is actually a special request from senior technical writer Curt Robbins. He's really intrigued by the fusion of artificial intelligence and robotics engineering. And to really dig into this, we've got a research paper that's pretty hot off the press. It's called Artificial Intelligence in Robotics Engineering. It was published just a couple months ago on September 23rd, 2024 by Abdullahi Mohammed Gulak from the Federal Polytechnic Mubi in Nigeria. And this paper looks like it's a really cool blend of like historical insights and some seriously cool real-world examples. I'm excited to get into it.
Absolutely. It seems like every day, we're seeing new breakthroughs in AI and robotics. This paper looks like it could be a great roadmap to understanding how we got to where we are and maybe even where we're headed.
Well, it all starts, believe it or not, with a little bit of a history lesson. The paper takes us all the way back to ancient Greece and the myth of Daedalus, the ingenious inventor who's supposedly created automatons. It's amazing that, the concept of artificial humans has been something that's captivated us for so long. But let's fast forward to the mid-20th century, when AI, as we know it, really started to take shape.
Yeah, World War II played a huge role, wouldn't you say? The wartime push to crack codes and develop complex calculations. I mean, that just spurred incredible advancements in computing.
Yeah.
And then you've got Alan Turing, of course, a true pioneer whose work on computation and the famous Turing test really laid the foundation for how we even understand machine intelligence today.
Yeah, it's amazing how relevant Turing's ideas from back then still are today. Yeah. And speaking of milestones, just a few years later, in 1956, we have the Dartmouth College Conference. That's where the term artificial intelligence was officially coined. It's kind of like the Big Bang of AI, would you say?
I think that's a perfect analogy. From that point on, AI research just exploded. You had early systems focusing on things like proving mathematical theorems or playing chess. But what's really interesting is how AI is transitioning from these purely logical tasks to more nuanced capabilities that are much more like human intelligence.
And that brings us to Isaac Asimov, a legend in science fiction. His three laws of robotics, although they were fictional, have had a surprising influence on real-world robotics and AI development.
Yeah, Asimov was remarkably prescient in recognizing the ethical dilemmas that could arise as robots become more autonomous. His laws, while they might seem deceptively simple, force us to confront complex questions about robot behavior and, even human safety.
hmm The paper really gets into the nuts and bolts of how AI makes robots smarter, for lack of a better term. It's really transforming them from pre-programmed machines into something much closer to like a thinking, learning entity. It's like taking them off of autopilot and enabling them to actually understand and respond to their environment.
Exactly. AI equips robots with a whole new toolkit. One of the key areas the paper dives into is machine learning. So instead of being explicitly programmed for every single scenario, robots using machine learning can actually learn from data. They can improve their performance over time.
So it's kind of like they're constantly gaining experience and refining their skills, just like humans do.
That's a great way to put it. The paper talks about deductive and inductive learning, which are different ways that robots can acquire and apply knowledge. For example, deductive learning is like applying a general rule to a specific situation, while inductive learning is more about recognizing patterns and forming conclusions based on observations.
Fascinating. The paper also mentions something called pattern recognition. It's how robots can perceive their environment and process information like images and speech.
Right. Think about how we as humans can instantly recognize a face. AI gives robots similar perceptual powers. They can analyze images, understand spoken language, and even identify complex patterns in data.
I noticed the paper mentioned some pretty technical terms here, like hidden Markov models and principal component analysis. I have to admit those sound a bit intimidating. Can you break those down for us?
Of course. Those are mathematical tools that help AI systems uncover meaningful patterns even when they're dealing with massive amounts of data. Imagine trying to predict weather patterns. You'd need to analyze vast amounts of historical data, temperature, humidity, wind speed, and so on. A hidden Markov model is kind of like that. It helps find the underlying patterns and relationships in the data, even when they're not immediately obvious.
So they're kind of finding the signal through all the noise.
Exactly. And principal component analysis is another technique that helps simplify complex data. It identifies the most important features or patterns. Think of it like finding the essence of something, the core elements that really define it. It helps streamline data processing and makes it easier for AI systems to make sense of it all.
That makes a lot more sense now. It sounds like these tools are crucial for things like self-driving cars that have to navigate busy streets, or maybe robots on assembly lines that need to identify defective parts.
Exactly. These are just a couple of examples of how AI is giving robots this whole new level of perception and understanding. And speaking of understanding, the paper also delves into something called knowledge representation.
Knowledge representation.
Yeah.
So it's not just about processing the data, but actually comprehending the meaning behind it.
You got it. This is where AI really starts to resemble the human brain. Robots can use logic symbols and something called semantic networks to create mental models of their world. They can reason about information, make inferences, and even learn new concepts.
So it's like they're building their own internal encyclopedia of knowledge, constantly adding new entries and making connections.
That's a fantastic analogy. And this ability to represent knowledge is what allows these AI-powered robots to perform increasingly complex tasks and really interact with the world in much more sophisticated ways.
It's incredible how AI is blurring the lines between what machines can do and what we traditionally consider human intelligence. And this paper highlights some amazing real-world applications of these advancements. For example, robots are already working alongside humans in industrial settings, improving efficiency and safety on assembly lines.
And think about high-risk fields like bomb disposal. The paper talks about Dash, a robot developed by India's DRDO. It's used for exactly that purpose. AI enables these robots to take on these incredibly dangerous tasks. It minimizes the risk to human life. It's a really powerful example of how AI can be used for good.
It's like something out of a sci-fi movie, but it's happening right now. And in medicine, AI-assisted surgery is becoming a reality. Imagine robots working with surgeons to perform these complex procedures with greater precision, and potentially with better outcomes for the patients.
The possibilities really do seem endless. It's easy to imagine AI-powered robots transforming everything from transportation and agriculture to even space exploration.
All of this is certainly exciting. But I know some people feel apprehensive about the rapid advancement of robotics and AI. Some people worry about robots taking over jobs or even posing a threat to humanity. Does the paper address these concerns at all?
It does. It acknowledges the anxieties surrounding job displacement, but it ultimately presents a more optimistic view. The authors argue that rather than replacing humans altogether, AI is more likely to reshape industries and create new opportunities.
So it's not a human versus robot scenario, but rather a collaborative future where AI augments human capabilities.
Precisely. Imagine AI handling repetitive or data-heavy tasks. That would free up humans to focus on things that require creativity, critical thinking, and emotional intelligence.
That's a much more reassuring perspective. It sounds like AI could actually enhance our lives and allow us to focus on the things that make us uniquely human.
That's the key takeaway here. AI is a tool to empower, not replace. But this raises another important question. If AI allows robots to learn and adapt at such a rapid pace, what does that mean for the future relationship between humans and machines?
That's a thought-provoking question.
Yeah.
It makes you wonder if we're on the verge of a fundamental shift in that relationship.
Exactly. And it's a question that deserves careful consideration. After all, we're talking about technology that could potentially redefine what it means to be human. It really is, and it all circles back to those ancient myths that we were talking about earlier, that human fascination with creating artificial beings, with understanding our own intelligence. It's a theme that's resonated throughout history.
Yeah, it's incredible to think how those age-old stories are now becoming reality. We're not just imagining robots anymore. We're building them, teaching them, and witnessing them perform these increasingly complex actions.
Yeah, it really is a remarkable moment in human history. We're pushing the boundaries of what's possible and kind of entering uncharted territory.
It's both exhilarating and, to be honest, a little bit daunting. We're talking about technology that could fundamentally alter what it means to be human.
That's why it's so crucial to approach this field with a balance of wonder and responsibility. We need to be asking ourselves not just, can we do this, but should we do this?
Right.
And if so, how can we do it in a way that actually benefits all of humanity?
Those are big questions, and I don't think there are any easy answers. But I think engaging in these thoughtful discussions like this one is a good place to start.
I couldn't agree more. Knowledge is power. And the more we understand about AI and robotics, the better equipped we'll be to navigate those challenges and the opportunities that lie ahead.
And for Curt Robbins, with his expertise in technical writing, I bet this sparks all sorts of ideas about how to, clearly and effectively communicate these complex concepts to a broader audience.
I'm sure it does. Translating these advancements into language that everyone can understand is essential for having, informed public discourse.
Yeah, it's all about bridging that gap between the technical world and the everyday experiences of people whose lives are being shaped by these technologies.
Exactly. We need to make sure that everyone feels included in this conversation, not just the scientists and engineers. The future of AI is something we'll all be shaping together.
Well said. It's clear that the world of AI and robotics is evolving at an incredible pace, and it's up to all of us to stay informed and engaged.
Absolutely. It's a fascinating journey, and we're just at the beginning. Who knows what amazing discoveries and innovations are waiting for us in the years to come. It's a journey filled with immense potential, but, also these complex ethical considerations.
Yeah, you're right. We can't ignore the ethical aspects.
Yeah.
It seems like every advancement in AI brings like these new questions about responsibility, about bias, and about the potential impact on society as a whole.
Absolutely. We really need to ensure that AI is developed and deployed in a way that aligns with human values and that it benefits all of humanity. That means having these open and honest conversations about potential risks, about unintended consequences, and, the need for safeguards.
Yeah, it's like we're navigating uncharted waters.
Hmm.
We need to proceed with both caution and a sense of adventure.
I like that analogy.
We've covered a lot of ground, from the historical roots of AI to its potential to transform industries and maybe even redefine our relationship with technology.
It's been a pleasure exploring these ideas with you. I always find it so invigorating to delve into these cutting-edge topics and just ponder the possibilities.
Me too. And a huge thank you to Curt Robbins for suggesting this deep dive. I have a feeling he'll have some brilliant insights to add to this conversation.
I'm sure he will. It's clear that he's a curious mind. And that's what makes these deep dives so rewarding, the opportunity to learn, to question, and to expand our understanding together.
We hope this has sparked your curiosity and that it's inspired you to continue exploring the ever-evolving world of AI and robotics. It's a field that's sure to keep us on the edge of our seats for years to come.